My cheating wife begged to come back after her affair partner dumped her, but I've moved on for good. Hey Reddit. It's strange how life can twist and turn in ways you never expect. A year ago, I was happily married, or so I thought. My wife, Sarah, and I had been together for 8 years. We had built a life together, shared dreams, and I truly believed she was my soulmate. Looking back, maybe I missed the cracks that had started forming, but hindsight doesn't change the betrayal I faced. It all began when Sarah started acting distant. She'd come home late, claiming work was demanding more of her time. She spent hours glued to her phone, giggling at texts she wouldn't share with me. I tried to ignore it at first, chalking it up to stress or maybe a harmless new friendship. But as the weeks went by, the signs became impossible to ignore. She stopped looking at me the way she used to, and intimacy between us vanished. I finally decided to confront her one night when she came home smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. She froze when I asked her point blank if she was seeing someone else. For a moment, I thought she would deny it, but instead, she admitted everything. She had been having an affair with a coworker named Eric, a man I had met at one of her office parties. Hearing those words shattered me. She didn't even try to downplay it. Instead, she said she hadn't been happy for a while and that Eric made her feel alive again. Those words cut deeper than I thought possible. She packed a bag that night and left, claiming she needed time to figure out what she wanted. The next few months were hell. I fell into a deep depression, questioning everything about myself and our marriage. Was I not good enough? Did I miss the signs? My friends and family rallied around me, but nothing could dull the pain of losing the person I thought I'd spend my life with. Sarah, meanwhile, seemed to be thriving. Social media painted a picture of her and Eric living their best lives. Vacations, fancy dinners, and constant smiling selfies filled my feed. It was like she had erased our life together completely. I blocked her on everything to preserve my sanity, but mutual friends occasionally let details slip. Apparently, Eric was wealthy, charming, and everything she thought she wanted. Over time, I started to heal. Therapy helped me process the betrayal and rebuild my confidence. I focused on myself, hitting the gym, pursuing hobbies I had neglected, and reconnecting with old friends. Slowly but surely, I began to feel like myself again, maybe even better than before. Then, about 6 months ago, I met someone. Her name is Emily, and she's everything Sarah wasn't. Kind, genuine, supportive, and full of life. We started as friends, but it didn't take long for something deeper to blossom. For the first time in a long time, I felt truly happy. Things were going well until 2 weeks ago, when Sarah unexpectedly showed up at my door. I hadn't seen or spoken to her since the night she left, so seeing her standing there was a shock. She looked different, disheveled, like she hadn't slept in days. Her eyes were red and puffy, and she was clutching a tissue like her life depended on it. Before I could even ask why she was there, she burst into tears. She started rambling about how she had made the biggest mistake of her life, how Eric had dumped her for someone younger, and how she realized too late that she had thrown away a good man for a fleeting fantasy. I stood there in stunned silence as she begged for another chance. She said she wanted to come back home, that she missed me, and that she was willing to do whatever it took to fix our marriage. Her words were desperate, and for a brief moment, I felt a pang of pity for her. But then I remembered all the sleepless nights, the tears I had shed, and the way she had so callously discarded me. I told her I needed time to think and sent her away. As soon as the door closed, I called Emily and told her everything. She was supportive, as always, and reminded me that I didn't owe Sarah anything. Still, a part of me felt conflicted. This was the woman I had once loved deeply, the person I thought I'd grow old with. But could I ever trust her again? The next day, Sarah showed up again, this time with a letter. She said she had written down everything she wanted to say in case I didn't want to hear it in person. I hesitated but took the letter. Later that evening, I sat down to read it. The letter was long, filled with apologies, regrets, and promises to change. She admitted that she had been selfish and short-sighted, chasing a thrill without considering the consequences. She wrote about how much she missed our life together and how she realized too late that Eric had only been using her. As I finished reading, I felt a strange sense of closure. Her words didn't erase the pain she had caused, but they confirmed what I already knew: I had moved on. The man who loved her so deeply no longer existed. I had grown, learned, and found someone who truly valued me. When Sarah called the next day to ask if I had read the letter, I told her the truth. I said I forgave her for what she had done, but I couldn't take her back. I told her I was in a better place now, with someone who made me happy, and that our chapter was closed. She cried and begged, but I stood firm. It's been a week since that conversation, and I feel lighter than I have in years. Emily and I are stronger than ever, and I'm finally at peace with the past. Sarah made her choice, and so did I sometimes. You have to let go of the people who hurt you, no matter how much history you share. I don't hate Sarah anymore. In fact, I hope she finds her own happiness someday. But as for me, I've moved on for good. Life is too short to dwell on what could have been. That's all for today's video, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time for more exciting content. See you next time.